gay ducks. All male. Or on the pub crawl guys, maybe. Afternoon campers, how the devil are you? Seems like ages since I made a video walking down a canal. You join me on what is one of the first beautiful sunny spring days in March on a part of the canal that I've never been on before, and I'm excited to see where it takes me. You may remember many moons ago I made a probably quite a long-winded video, one of my first longer ones, where I actually walked all the way through Manchester City Centre and down the canal network, and then turned right back up to Eccles, and then had a long boring walk home along Ecclesbury Road. Well, this time I've come to what must be the continuation of that canal, where it exited. I turned back at Patrick Croft, unusual place name. So Patrick Croft had a train station and I didn't realise that. So I got a single to there, and my aim is, judging by Google Maps, it looks like it's going to be around about 6 miles of canal walking to a place called Lee. Lee? Yeah, Lee. Is that right? I'm not sure. Lee. Yeah, I just checked, it is Lee. And 2 friends of mine from the pub live around that area somewhere. Pete and Sam. Hello. How you doing? Told you you'd get a mention on a video. Anyway, I'm going to head in that direction and then get a train back, all being well, from another place that I went to the other day called Atherton. And it was the first time I've been there too. It's going to mean a bit of a trek between the 2 lines, because they do run on different lines, these places, but we'll see how it goes. That's an bend in the canal here, and that's an unusual building, isn't it? Do you think that's fake, or was actually some kind of canal command centre tower or something? Maybe I'll have to try and find out. Nice little building though. So we bend around here past the Waterside pub, which smells delicious, but we're not stopping there. We're continuing straight ahead. Familiar look of the canals in this area. Plenty of bridges, and just like the other side near the Trafford Centre, lots of birch trees either side, which looks nice now, overhanging. You know, makes it look more like a river. But when they're in full bloom, that must be really nice, beautiful, like they're in the middle of nowhere. So as I'm walking down this lovely stretch of the canal here in the blue sky, I'm looking over at the other side, and where normally the side of the canal would just be stone or blocks of stone, or even concrete in some places, I notice every 2 meters or so there's stanchions, and this side too, and there is a drop off on the other side of the canal bank. Over the other side, a drop off of probably maybe 10-15 meters down to the field. So I am wondering whether these big metal stanchions were sunk into the canal at a later stage to keep it solid. If I'll put a link somewhere to Martin Zero's video, where he talks about a terrible disaster where a canal that was on the bank like this of a steep hill suddenly burst its banks, sending everybody in the boats on it tumbling down to disaster. So I wonder if that's what these stanchions are for, because as you can see, it does drop off down to where the houses are, the other side as well. 2 Canada geese over there. Not now, but they were making quite a bit of noise just now. And over in the distance, another pair. And what time has flown so quickly, don't you think, this last year? Because I think we must almost be at the time again where they start mating and making all those awful sounds and producing babies. Spring's here, almost here, folks. And another 2. I wonder if they pair for life. Does anyone know? Maybe we'll have to do a little bit of research about the old Canada geese. And have they always been such a prominent feature of our waterways in England? Be nice to find out. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping I can get enough of this stretcher canal done today. It is quite a good few miles, and they can be a little bit boring and tedious, you know, just walking on the same kind of path. But the scenery is changing bit by bit, and nice to see the peaceful side of some of the areas of Manchester that I've never been to before. Apart from that is Atherton, as I mentioned earlier, which I did go to a few days ago, and the reason being that I wanted to try and find a source of grass-fed, pasture-raised meat on a farm nearer to where I get it from at the moment, which is down in Somerset. And they're a fantastic company. Again, I'll put a link to the company down in the description box if anyone's interested. Buying meat that's had a reasonably happy life compared to factory farming, where they're free to roam and eat natural products instead of being cooped up and forced on grains. Just past those people magnet fishing, which is something I've seen on YouTube but never actually seen people doing in real life. They don't seem to got much out. Some of the buildings around here are lovely as well. This reminds me very much of places down south in Oxfordshire and Berkshire. Lovely houses with gardens and, you know, very old styles. Mock Tudor, is that what they call that one up there? Really is a beautiful part of the canal. Can't believe I've not been down this way before. Some sort of sluice over there. It's amazing the industrial architecture that's left behind by Golden Canal age. Some kind of sluice, I imagine, or man-made weir. No idea. Canal continues round here, and again another piece of one huge great big winch. So maybe this was a place where goods were taken on or loaded onto the canal barges. Nice that they've kept such a huge piece of history there instead of just scrapping it. Lovely. So I'm passing under what is a familiar sight to me now, because if you have watched my video where I walked along the other canal almost all the way to Warrington, the familiar double bridge of the M60 Manchester's Ring Road as it roars above us night and day. And it's amazing too, as soon as you get past that M60, in whichever direction you're walking in, around or out of Manchester, immediately you just feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, that the countryside has begun and the city has ended. And it's a great feeling, a great sense of peace. And you see more fields and forest around you. And I'm feeling jovial today. I do feel like spring's on its way. Got a new cheeky haircut, as you can see, which, you know, I should really keep it like this length all the time, because as much as I try to grow it sometimes, especially in winter when it gets cold, I just look ridiculous with long hair, especially with a longer beard. So I'm glad, I'm happy, full of the joys of spring as it comes around the corner. And also another good thing that's happened today, I'm a little bit late coming out on this walk, because this morning I went to the Apple store and I bought an iPhone. Yeah, I know, I finally succumbed. And yeah, it was something that I did reluctantly, but it seems like it's the best way to go forward. If I was just using my mobile phone like I have done in the past, calls, texts, WhatsApp, the occasional film or picture, you know, photo, then of course, and emails of course, which all the things that you can do on all smartphones these days. And then this Nokia 8 has stood me in good stead. It's been absolutely fantastic, no problems with it at all. Perhaps getting a little bit slow now that I've had it for 3 years, some of the apps taking a while to load, etc. But I've had no issues at all, and Nokia relaunching themselves really need to make the most of it, because this has been a fantastic film, good quality, and I will not look back with regret at ever having had this. However, I am also really looking forward to exploring what Apple has to offer with the iPhone 13 Pro and the superb filming and picture taking abilities that it has, and hopefully my films will improve as a result. Of course, I'm not phoning on it yet. I want to take it home, have a ceremonial unboxing, and look after it as much as I can. I'm going to get a nice protective shock-proof case for it, I think, and you know, and hopefully, touch wood, a gimbal soon. If you watch my previous video about how rubbish the gimbal that I bought initially was, you'll see just how bad the footage was on it. And after having done a little bit more research online, it does seem like there's so many conflicting stories when it comes to which one is the best. Xeon Smooth 5, the other ones I can't remember. It's difficult to remember what they're all called when they've got Chinese names, you know. Well, at least part of the name is Chinese, and obviously because that's where they're made. And I was just about to go and buy one of those, you know. I'll put a picture on the screen now. A lot bulkier than the PowerVision S1, which was this very nice little compact one. and so, you know, a lot bulkier to carry around when I'm out on my walks. But I want something that's going to be good, strong motors, that's going to be nice and smooth, and not too many things where it's clogged up because of an app which isn't fully usable. So yeah, still watch this space. At the moment I'm still on the end of what is quickly becoming a very shabby, bendy selfie extending stick, and you'll have to make do with that. I think it's high time soon I found somewhere to stop and have a cup of tea. Bloody hell, I think I've got quite a few miles to go, and I haven't seen really that many benches. Story of my life. Where's all the benches along the canals and rivers, guys? Come on, that lady over there's got it all right. Look, mobile seat to sit on. Quite a boat populated part of the river, this. Obviously there's some dock of some kind over there, lots of moorings, so maybe this is just a popular place because there's obviously a toilet and maybe a little shop and a place to get more gas and stuff and coal, and a very grand looking pub restaurant over there. You always forget just how many barges or longboats, or whichever way you want to describe them, there are on British canals. I know the network is finite, it's limited, but there are still boat builders making them these days, you know, brand new ones. So it's obviously quite a popular pastime and an even more popular place to live. Wouldn't appeal to me, I don't think. So what do we have over there? The pub name is The Moorings, of course. Yeah, it's a bench, and it's already taken. Just my luck. It's indeed very picturesque, this arm of the canal. Changing scenery every few minutes, which is beautiful. Look at that gorse over there, I presume it is. Nice dark green gorse with the first yellow flowers popping their heads out. And it does cast a lovely dark green, greeny blue shimmer on the water. Finally found a bench. Time to stop for a well-earned cuppa. Tea tastes so much better outside. Especially with the raw milk that I bought the other day. But that's another story about Atherton. Certainly wouldn't want to stagger back from the pub if I lived in Leigh like Pete and Sam do. I wouldn't want to stagger along the canal this far, drunk, next to 12 foot of water. Cold, dark, dirty water. Anyway, whistle nearly wetted. Cheers. Didn't think I'd leave you here, did you? Oh. Time for the hat. Still a bit of a nip in the air now. Oh. Come on, winter, bugger off. Don't know if you can make out, almost over there in the centre of the screen, looks like some kind of coal derrick, and indeed when I checked on Google Maps it's a national mining museum at Astley Green, I think. Be nice to check that out one day. Another aptly named pub by the side of the canal. Must have been hundreds of these at some point, and it's nice to see that a lot of them are still existing, and that's again one benefit, I guess, of being on a canal boat. Everywhere you stop there's likely to be somewhere to put your feet up and have a pint. 3.5 miles to go apparently to Leigh. according to a sign I just passed. Yeah, there we go. 3 miles now. Good, I'm on track, about an hour. Of course, it's just coming back to me now. An aforementioned friend at the pub did mention to me the other day that it was possible to walk all the way from more or less where he lives in Leigh, all the way into Manchester, or that he said to the pub, but obviously you've got to cross roads when you get to Manchester city centre. But now, thinking about it, it's absolutely right, because you can walk all the way down this canal that I've done today to Patrickcroft. Is it called Patrickcroft? I think so. And the canal crosses the main body of water there just before Eccles, and it continues the other side on some kind of canal bridge thing I remember seeing. I'll put a little tiny clip maybe up here of me looking at it on that other video, probably a year ago maybe, something like that. So, slightly battle-worn boat, one of those crane things that obviously lifting goods in and out of the canal. Some strange graffitied Japanese pagoda style thing, and a little bridge. So let's see where this takes us. The gurgling of water as it disappears down that hole over there. Oh, a little bridge. Don't think I'm meant to go down the other side, am I? What is this place? What is this place? I think we're going over the Bridgewater Ship Canal, perhaps. Railway bridge there, a tower, perhaps a command tower. Is this the thing that Martin Zero was going on about? It's a canal over a canal. And I walked all the way, more or less, from the city centre up to there, to Patrickcroft, and then back along Eccles New Road. So it would be a good old walk, I reckon, 10-15 miles probably, but ultimately possible. Yeah, so he was right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably a walk that I'll do one day, or maybe I'll just check it out on my bike first and just see exactly how far it is. That would be a nice circuit to do on your bike, because the canal paths, at least these days, are very flat most of the way. The occasional bit of cobbled stone and dirt track, but most of it is tarmacked over these days so that people can cycle and walk the dogs and stuff, and obviously as a tow path as well. So yeah, I'll try that out. What I might have to do is get one of those phone clip holder things that attaches your phone to your bike, and then I can capture the whole thing on video. It's a lot more difficult to stop when you're on your bike, unless you see something interesting, and video it. What a beautiful day. Just passing by this large grassed area on the other side of the canal there, and I wondered what the shooting was, but I can see a couple of tanks over there in the distance. Maybe it's a shooting range. Yeah, great. No more signs for Leigh. Guess I must be here. I'll have to check my map. Yay, daffodils! Come on, my little fellas, squeeze yourselves through. Wow, that's a imposing red bricked factory if ever there was one. Enormous tower, looks almost Art Deco in its design. Wonder how old it is and what it used to be. I also wonder whether Fred Dibner ever climbed that steeple. Well, this is actually turned out to be a much longer walk than I anticipated. And my legs are a little jellified now, but I think I'm through the outskirts of Leigh itself. See a great big Tesco's over to my right, so I'm just waiting for the next bridge to take me into the town centre, and hopefully I'll be able to have a little look around Leigh, see what it's all about. A lot bigger than I anticipated as well, and for such a large place, it does make you wonder why it hasn't got a train station. Or maybe it did in the past, and you know, all the beaching cuts and everything, or put an end to that. Or maybe even Leigh was such a small place that it didn't justify a train station at the time, and now it's too late. So rather than a long boring walk from Leigh to Atherton, which is the nearest train station, I might consider seeing if there's a local bus service that can take me there, or even a taxi maybe. We'll see how far it is, and assess the situation in a minute. Looking forward to a wee and something to eat. It is indeed handy to have these signs on the Leigh to Liverpool Canal to tell you exactly how far it is, by bike of course, not walking. So Leigh town centre 1 minute, Atherton 24 minutes by bike. You can probably double that on foot, so let's see. And indeed it looks like Leigh is quite a big place, thriving, bustling place, lots of bus stops here, bus stands, going to all the local areas. So it is quite actually a big town, didn't realise. Lots of little side streets, shops everywhere. Huge place. Reminds me of Bury, but even bigger than that maybe. In fact, it's got some of the buildings and a little bit of the rundown. This reminds me of Southport. Yeah, you can see obviously it was a thriving place at one point. Lots of Georgian and Victorian buildings, some of them run down and boarded up like that one over there. It's got a slight shabbiness to it. But with echoes of grandeur. This is obviously an important building in the past, perhaps a town hall, the flag flying up there, and this little square here with that awful, ugly 60s, 70s concrete building, Leigh Library. Yeah, it looks like a library, juxtaposed against the very large church, if not cathedral there, in beautiful red brick stones. Why can't buildings be like that these days? Glistening in the sun. Leigh Church, I think it is. Leigh Parish Church. Yeah, beautiful. Such a shame that places like this get run down. The Grand Theatre and Hippodrome. What is it now? Can you guess? Of course, it's the Wetherspoons. So I decided to walk, at least for now. There are obviously bus stops along the way towards Atherton. Going to see how far I can get before it gets dark, really. That's my main aim. Glad to be leaving Leigh behind. It's amazing the assumptions that you make about a place before you go there. And shabbier than I expected and larger than I expected. And obviously quite a huge community. And no train station. Just, that's baffling to me. I'm still now in the outskirts of Leigh, you know, and probably the housing estates along this road aren't going to stop now until I get all the way to Atherton. And I'm always reminded on my walks around Greater Manchester and the surrounding areas just how huge Greater Manchester is and how many people live here. There's just house after house, street after street. Just, you know, there's so much of this country that we don't know about, and I've mentioned that on previous videos. You know, when I went to Liverpool and walked up to Southport there, and there's just so many nooks and crannies that we don't know about. We're only familiar with our home turf. So it is good, it's refreshing to get out and about and see more of England. And but boy, yeah, it's certainly England, certainly got all the markings of an English town. Anyway, get a stomp on now, see if I can get to Atherton, and hopefully it's not a bus replacement service. While I'm passing a bus stop, I thought I'd have a look, and here I am. Here, Lee is down here somewhere, and that's where I am, obviously. And I've just got this little bit here to the to Atherton train station. Not far to go. Up here, of course, is where I walked to the other day when I went to a little farm. Yeah, I walked to a little farm to buy some raw milk. Googled it first, of course, and found that there was a place that sells unpasteurised, unhomogenised raw milk. So basically just filtered and as it comes out of the cow. And it's meant to have, you know, it's got all the nutrients in it. You know, milk is what we give to babies, you know, no matter what the animal is. It provides all the nutrients that the baby needs. So why we then have to reduce the amount of nutrients in the milk? I know it's cow's milk, and we're not given birth by, we're not born from cows, but you know, I'm not gonna suckle a nipple at this time of my life, am I?